Shadow Show.
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 Shadowing it.
Roy, I feel like we're doing the Shadow Show all wrong. My original incarnation idea for the Shadow Show is just something for the early arriving YouTubers that is just us sort of talking to them as we trickle into work and get makeup done. It shouldn't have a Shadow Show open. It should just have like, can you get me some trickling sounds, some sounds of trickling? It's
Some
just
water?
us trickling into work, because right now I've got a studio. We're about to start a show, internationally famous show, and I don't know who's on it. I thought Jessica was here. I thought Izzy is here. I'm looking into a room where I only see you and Jeremy, and I've got Amin sitting down right now next to me.
They haven't trickled in yet. Just give them a chance to trickle.
Correct. But are these people here? I don't know who is here today on a Friday. I thought Jess and Izzy were here, but all I see in the room are Jeremy and Roy, and we start in 5 minutes.
I do know that Izzy will be here. He's just stuck in what amounts to about 2 hours of traffic driving from where we live.
He's been getting a lot of that the last couple of days. He's been getting a lot of 2.5-hour commutes in. I should tell the YouTube listeners and others that Billy and Stugotz are in Arizona. I shouldn't tell them now because this is there. That's good.
This is more like a dripping.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, it's like I'm walking down an alley, maybe down in the basement of a building.
In 1988.
There are pipes, right? Exposed pipes.
That water's not clean. It's not falling into clean water, and it's not coming out of the pipes as clean water.
There's a rat scurrying around.
You might be in a sewer, like with a flashlight.
Flashlight, yes,
for
absolutely.
sure, trying to walk around and either avoid something behind you or you're searching for maybe even a dead body.
Abandoned subway platform.
Exactly.
They used to use this one. They don't anymore.
Searching for a dead body. You tell me all the times in your life you people have been searching for a dead body. What are you doing?
This doesn't sound like real life. This sounds like the movie we're creating in our heads.
Have you watched any movie from the 1980s?
Theater of the Mind.
There's always a dead body, and we've always got to find it.
Video tends to have visual accompaniment. Right now, you guys are creating a scenario that escalates straight to death when all I want was us trickling into work.
Okay, sorry.
The dead body's going to be mine.
You're
is what's
looking for
gonna
your
happen.
kid that
If
was
you
stolen
guys-
by a clown. Sorry.
If you guys don't fix the way that we do these things, the dead body at the center of the dripping pipe is going to be me.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that's much of a threat.
I thought you were saying it was
Yeah,
going
it's
to be
gonna
me.
be us. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I thought, Roy, you better
listen.
get on that dripping.
Okay.
Well, but I can threaten you guys and say that you will be gone and your termination will result in both life termination and employment termination.
One of those is scarier.
But it's
Yeah.
also bad for you to have career termination if I die. We shouldn't be doing this in a way that kills me.
I think we'll survive.
You do.
We'll march on.
You think the Dan Le Batard Show survives without Dan Le Batard?
Only in the case of a Dan Le Batard death. Dan Le Batard quits, we can't survive that.
I agree with you.
Dan Le
actually.
Batard dies, we're never going off the air.
Really?
It's in his memory. At that point, everyone who's hated on you and shouted written mean things, they feel bad after that. And
And no one can abandon ship after
then they
that.
pity, oh man, I can't be like that. That makes me an awful person. So then they have to support the show. Guys, I think I just found out how we saved the show.
Hey, good job, Amin.
The show didn't really need saving
Oh.
unless I thought I died. But you're just saying that my death results in a lifetime contract for all of you. That's what you just said, that my death not only is being miscalculated by me, you're saying it's most egregiously miscalculated that you will have lifetime security the moment you guys kill me.
Dan, can I introduce you to the double first named Christopher Wallace, also known as the Notorious B.I.G.?
We don't have a lot of Wallaces walking around.
Oh, yes, there are.
We don't.
Wallace
from
Shawn?
Wallace from The Wire.
Okay.
Where's Wallace?
A TV show from the 1990s.
Well,
is that what you're mentioning?
Early aughts.
Wallace Pip.
Again, no Wallaces.
Wallace Walker.
There's Wallace Pip. We're not making Wallaces anymore. We're not making Wallies anymore.
Wally Sparks.
Correction, it was Walter Pip.
Damn.
Oh.
As I was saying, the Notorious B.I.G., tragic death. Cut down well before his prime.
That's not what you were saying. You're saying that Christopher Wallace is 2 first names
Yes.
and last names as a first name and a last name.
Yes.
And the game, and you guys continue to play it incorrectly.
How's it incorrect?
It's common first names and last names. You guys keep going to uncommon ones. Wallace is not a common. Anderson Cooper.
Anderson is a common first name. How many Andersons do you know?
Puck.
Okay, name 2.
Shit.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. I hear him chatting the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. We take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat in the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys, not so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize, right guys, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I have in front of me, an assortment of statistics from last night's football game that are a bit crazy, okay? From StatMuse, Lamar Jackson, who 6-time Executive of the Year Bill Polian thought wasn't a quarterback.
Let's leave Bill Polian alone, man. We won. We don't have to dance on his grave anymore.
Can I finish the stat, please?
Yeah,
Can I finish the thought? Can I finish the sentence that I have here? Lamar Jackson, who 6-time Executive of the Year Bill Polian thought wasn't a quarterback, has thrown 14 touchdown passes in the past 17 days.
That's a lot.
That can't be true.
14 touchdown passes in the last 17 days. That's from StatMuse, and it's not the craziest stat from last night. There have been 2 instances. This is from OptaStats. 2 instances in NFL history where a QB had 30-plus completions, 300-plus passing yards, 4-plus TD passes, 40-yard TD passes, no more than 1 interception, and yet still lost. Those 2 instances were Joe Burrow the first time he played the Ravens this season, and Joe Burrow the second time he played the Ravens this season. The Bengals are 0-2 in the games where Joe Burrow has put up this stat line. 64 of 95 for 820 yards. That's 8.6 yards per pass, 9 touchdowns and 1 interception. They are 0-2 in those games. And that's with the Bengals O-line playing terrible. You had the Ravens weren't even blitzing, and they were hitting Burrow again and again because of how bad his offensive line is. Let's check in real quick with Tony, who's doing a victory lap in the other room because he got this game right. This game, he told you yesterday in Thursday Thunder that it was going to be offensive fireworks, and so now we're checking in with Tony.
It looks like Tony is being chased by a mob of Ravens fans that are trying to catch him.
Yes, Tony is doing a victory lap in the other room. This is brought to you by Peloton. Go ahead, Tony. Give us your victory lap because you told us that game was going to go that way.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, absolutely. Well, when you know ball, you know ball, Dan. So brought to you by the Peloton app. I'm actually going to do a little something different this morning. I'm going to do a hit workout in German here with Marcel. Thank you, Marcel. Jesse, our amazing makeup artist, is going to hold it while I try and reenact everything that Marcel's doing on screen. So give me a second. Press play here. It's in German. I don't really understand it. No biggie. How we're going to start with some squats.
Shouldn't you be on a Peloton, though? Wouldn't that make more sense? I know the segment's called Victory Lap, but shouldn't you be on a Peloton?
But here's the beautiful thing about the Peloton app, Dan. You don't need to just have a Peloton. Yeah. You could do hit workouts. You could do yoga. You could do a bunch of stuff. I got to do 25 air squats here for a second. So, all right, getting back to the game. We knew it was going to be offensive firepower. Why? Their defenses aren't that good. Ravens...
This is hard. The squats are hard. They start to 24. Burn. Yeah, this is bad.
He's going to pull something.
This is
okay.
He's going to be really genuine.
All right, now I got to do these. Oh God. Okay.
Oh, you just pulled something.
I can't do those. I'm going to just do some more air squats. Okay. So we knew defenses on both sides not that good. We saw Jameis Winston carve up the Ravens. We've seen literally everybody carve up the Bengals. So you knew it was going to be an offensive game. One thing that we didn't even mention was this is not fake.
No,
This is-
I know the squats.
this is-
You should stop doing the squats because that's not going to get better. Your breathing's not going to get better. You should stop doing squats for a second and just give us the breathless victory lap.
No, Marcel's doing it. I got to do it. Okay, so if you go back to last season, Bengals and Ravens put on an incredible performance. That was another high-scoring game. My quads are on fire. Another high-scoring game, and that was going to be repeated this year. Lamar Jackson, when I told you yesterday that Joe Burrow was probably the MVP if you blind statted him against other quarterbacks, everybody except Lamar Jackson, who's thrown, at this point, 24 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, right? And we've got Joe Burrow, who's playing incredible. I think, 25 touchdowns to 3 picks? It was an offensive firepower from the moment they started.
It's harder to do.
We didn't-
Hold on a second. Hold on. You've got to think differently when you do this way. It requires a different strategy. Your analysis has to be shorter sentences because longer thoughts are killing you right now.
You got to ration out your answers. They got to come out in like little bursts that coincide with the exhale as you come up.
And we have to help you as well by talking some in the winded monologue windows, small though they are. So continue, Tony.
I don't know how Marcel's done like 60 air squats in a row. He's incredible.
Marcel's a beast.
Oh, my God.
The air squats are hard, man.
Okay, now we're moving up to high knees. Okay, perfect. All right, so with that, we look at Joe Burrow. Who's the number one option? Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has an argument to be probably the best receiver in the league right now. 11 catches, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's off the top of my head.
I think it was more than that.
Might have been more,
I think
exactly.
it was more yards than that.
Might have been more.
260 something.
Zach Taylor,
264.
by the way. Zach Taylor. I get it. Hey, you want to end the game. You want to be the hero and win it at M&T Bank Stadium. Going for 2 there. I think not a great move. Jesse trying to leave here as I'm, okay, go. You don't want to see me do high knees. That's fine. All right, now we're doing a little fake jump rope. All right. So when you look at these 2 teams, Dan, offensive firepower being there, what really killed us was Zay Flowers.
Yeah. Well, why is this
are
a
we doing?
victory lap when you had a 4-leg parlay and only 3 of the legs came in, and that's not a winning bet? You got Lamar Jackson over 250 yards. You got Joe Burrow over 250 yards. You got
Jamar Chase.
somehow Jamar Chase over 80 yards, but Zay Flowers killed you at 34 yards.
Yeah, to be honest, the Tylan Wallace touchdown, I actually count that as a Zay Flowers touchdown. It's a process over results business, Dano. That's what you do. You knew somebody was going to be going. Okay, Chubby Jacks. So you knew somebody was going to be going off in that Ravens wide receiver core. We know it's not Deontay Johnson. That guy's a bum. But sorry.
God damn.
Say I was
I don't
astray
think we're
there.
allowed to say bum anymore.
No,
I
but
think
in the
that's been
context,
taken out of.
in the context is different.
No, we can say whatever we want now, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Finally, Jeremy, I agree with you on something.
Unhoused gentleman.
Me too.
Deontay, but he's not an unhoused gentleman. He's a very housed gentleman. He's just playing like a bum. Anyways, so you knew somebody. What is he doing now?
All right.
Oh, he's taking a breath.
Tone,
Okay.
do me a
taking a
favor.
breath.
Tone, do me a favor. Tone.
Back to air squats. Christ.
No, Tone, come on in here. Come on in here. Come. I don't want to torture you. You've done enough, and this isn't an actual victory lap because 3 out of 4 isn't a
Process
victory.
over results, Dano. You know that. Come on.
Also, not a victory lap. He's doing squats and jumping jacks. Victory laps are typically just running.
Also, not technically Peloton, even though Peloton is expanding as a brand. It isn't just bicycles.
Exactly.
Come back in here.
Okay.
Dan, I want to point out something that Tony did, which is the interesting math that we do now. Right?
Can you hold on a second, I mean,
Sure.
because you're not a broadcast professional and you don't realize that's a sponsored segment that has a read in it.
Yeah, whatever that was, probably wasn't even a victory lap or whatever. It was presented by Peloton. Find your push, find your power with Peloton.
Sorry for the lack of professionalism.
Well, this is a real disorganized Friday. Like, I don't know what we're doing in here, but to come in here and there's no Izzy, and I thought there was Jess, and Tony's in the other room, and we got Jeremy and just Roy. Like, I don't mean to complain, but I'm running a company that is a bit in a ramshackle condition.
They're trickling.
No, but they're not trickling. There's not going to be any more trickling. Give me the trickling sound again, please, here, Roy, because Amin was saying during the break when he does some of his best work. I wish we were paying him for the stuff he says during the break instead of on air. You were creating yet more visual images around what the echoing sound here suggests that all of this is ominous as opposed to just a leaky pipe. There's something about the echo here that is creating fear and a haunting nature when all I wanted was trickling. I didn't want haunting. I just wanted the sound of some trickling.
Sometimes you get buy one, get one free, Dan. You wanted trickling and got instead haunted, creepy, abandoned subway station. We're down there. We've got our flashlights. The flashlight is flickering, hitting it. Got to jam it to get it back on. And as we're walking and we're terrified, we don't know what we're going to see down here. A conversation breaks out about what constitutes a first name, right? And now we're having an argument about whether Wallace is a first name, whether Anderson is a first name, for that matter. And we're standing there in this abandoned subway station with the flashlight flickering, this thing trickling, and we're arguing, and that's when the killer sneaks up behind us.
I figured it out. It's the echo. It's the elongated echo. If it was a shorter echo, maybe. If it was a bathroom sink, possibly. But this echo is too long.
Okay, so you got to do better than that, executive producer. And Amin has just pointed out something to me that is a horrible flaw in my game, which is I had not considered, welcome Izzy, I had not considered that Anderson Cooper, the only reason I was considering Anderson and considering Anderson as a first name is because he made it his first name. And so Anderson is not actually a common first name. And so my game gets sabotaged from the very beginning. Welcome back,
Hey, Dan.
Tony. Anything else that you wanted to say about the football?
Just a fun night, man. We talked about it, and the victory lap of seeing a great game on a Thursday night really warms the cockles.
That
sorry?
is not something someone your age says. Welcome again, Izzy. He's all about the warmed cockles. I don't actually know what cockles are to be warmed. I've got to be honest.
That's a trickle.
That's better as a trickle. Still got some haunt to it. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do you know what cockles are? I don't even know how to spell cockles when they're warmed.
It's how you think.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's Cockles.
ES. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. What is a cockle?
That's how you think, huh?
I'm about to figure that out.
That's how you think.
Hey, you trickled
We
in.
know this already, though.
I'm seeing here a cockle is a edible marine bivalve mollusk.
Warm it up.
Okay, so I don't know why we're warming one of those. Why are
That can't be right.
Is that
It's an
something-
octopus.
You don't want it refrigerated. You don't want it cold.
Do,
You serve that warm.
can anyone here answer my question about what warmed cockles are?
Yes.
Because Tony has given me more information, and somehow I feel like I have less information.
This originated in the 1600s, but the most popular explanation was that cockles, the shell, looks like a heart.
Oh. The trickling sound sounds like at the end of a particularly satisfying urination sequence, and you're just trying to make sure that those
You're
last
showing your
drops.
age. I feel like
Don't
this
need
is
the
showing
visuals.
the lack of power in your stream at this
No,
point.
this is at the end. Now we're just trying to get it all done.
Okay, enough.
Trying to shake it all out, you know.
This
Shout
is
out to
not what I
TJ.
wanted to be doing. Again, no one here, you used the phrase, Tony, as a young person, warm the cockles, having no earthly idea what a cockle was or why it was being warmed.
You just knew we had to warm it, and that's what we did. The football game, I was there like, we need a warming sound. I don't know how we can get a warming sound, but get that, and it was just like right here, just warm.
Jeremy, please explain to me again, because I'm still at a loss. In the 1600s, there was a mollusk of some sort that had a heart-shaped shell, and it was warmed, even though a shell is generally cold, because we were heating it to cook it? Or what are we...
No. Like warms the cockles of someone's heart. It sort of means to make them feel content. So like a heartwarming moment. And because the cockle looks like a heart, that's where you go.
I don't know. I'm looking at Amazon.com. They're selling Parsons Welsh pickled cockles, pack of 3.
I don't know what those are.
Gonna throw them in the air fryer. I'm gonna find out, Dan. Same day delivery.
How have we gone this long without anyone asking the question, what do you mean warm cockles? I don't know what cockles are.
It's just something you say, Dan. It's like ebb and flow. What is ebb? Nobody knows what ebb
It's
is.
the opposite of flow, isn't it?
I mean, you only know that because of that phrase.
Flow is that sound right there.
You know what really warms the cockles of my heart? Baseball. And tonight begins the first edition of the Choque de Gigantes tournament right here in Miami. This 6-game tournament will run from tonight through Sunday at Lone Depot Park, featuring the best leagues from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. And Game Time is offering 10% off on Choque de Gigantes tickets until tonight. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
I know. Come on, man.
Do you
I'm
know?
trying.
Do you know what you just read?
No.
Wait a minute. Okay. Just everyone.
I just knew this
slow
would happen.
down. Well, okay. Just wait a minute. Choque de Gigantes, if it's going to be said by somebody who's allegedly a Miami Hispanic, has to be said differently than that,
Factually.
and has to be said by someone who knows what they're saying. So, just let's back up for a second and quiz Jeremy on what he thinks Choque de Gigantes means.
Or how he said it
Don't
first.
Google it. Don't Google it.
Don't Google it. Don't, you cheater.
Wait.
I'm going to kick you out.
I did it. Wait, hold on.
You did not just try and Stugotz that.
I know
with
what
me.
Gigantes is.
Okay.
No, wait a minute.
But I
Tony,
don't know. I
Tony,
still tried. I
Tony,
exited out.
Jeremy,
Tony saw.
shut up. Shut up. Tony, did he try to cheat so as not to appear dumb on our show? Is that what he just did?
Oh, I
did
know
he
how
try
dumb I
to
am.
cheat?
Dan, I don't.
I'll say yes.
Jeremy, shut up. Leave.
Jeremy.
Leave. Jeremy,
Get out of here,
leave.
Jeremy.
No.
Leave.
Get. Scram.
Leave. Quietly. Leave.
Trickling out now.
He's trickling.
Are you kidding me that you get our show so little that you try to not appear dumb in that situation by camouflaging it after you've already appeared dumb?
Poorly, I might add.
Save the voice, Dan. That's important here. We need it.
Yeah, we need that.
Can I give it a
Some
try
tea.
since I haven't Googled and I don't know? Say the phrase again,
Choque
please.
de Gigante.
Okay, that's like that's Aaron Judge in the World Series.
Okay, keep going.
Big choke.
That's
Oh,
not bad.
hey, that's good.
In Washington Heights, that's how they were tremendo choque de gigante.
Right.
That is not bad. That's
He's on it, dude. He was close.
Amin is more Hispanic than Jeremy. I did not believe that could be so.
Is that my right?
No, you're not right at all.
You got one piece right.
Gigante.
Yes.
It
Or choke.
sounds a bit like Chocolate Giant. I will get him back in a second to just
Ew.
wallow in all of this because I can't believe how he said that. I can't. He's the confident reader among us. He wanted to read that. He is dying to hear his own voice at all times. He can't sing-song it enough. He comes in and thinks it's clever to segue with, you know what warms my cockles? Baseball. He thinks that that's cute because he loves his own voice.
And you can get it with Game Time. Get those tickets with Game Time.
And then the moment he shows his ass and all of us notice, he can't stop talking because he thinks that's going to work.
It's a theater kid, Dan.
Oh, my God, they're so annoying.
Shows his culo.
Tremendo, gigante.
He tried to throw a plume of smoke, Dan, to like keep talking and then be like, "Oh,
So
let me."
obvious, yes. He thinks he's so clever.
Oh, what did I say? What
I'm
did
not- look, I could cheat right in front of them. I'm surrounded by dumb apes. The monkeys didn't just escape from South Carolina. I work with them every day. I'm smarter. They won't even notice that I'm cheating.
Some might say that he choke a gigante in that moment.
What he did, you know what? Close that door, Tony, and put like some
Lock it.
chairs on it because I need to discuss this for a second. I need to discuss what just happened for a second. You are the enemy of good content if you're not going to allow me to sink into you pronounced something wrong. And he wasn't going to let me on my own show. He's like, no, I'm going to cheat right in front of you and I'm going to talk over you too. You got to be shitting me. He thought that was going to work right in my face. Like, he's like, this fool's worked with Stugotz for 20 years. He's not going to, I'm going to get over on him. This is a good trickling sound.
Hey, there you go. No echo.
Do we know what choque means?
Yes, clash, like a collision of the gigantes.
Was it pronounced properly?
I mean, he pronounced it like appallingly for a Hispanic person. It was just soaked, and Jeremy has not been out of Broward County except to do sideline reporting where he thinks, you know what warms my cockles? Baseball.
He turned into Jason Jackson right there.
He wants to. Tell me he doesn't want to. Tell me, theater kid, Jason Jackson.
Jay Jackson, if you're nasty.
Jay Tassay, if you're nasty.
If you're nasty.
Stugotz and Billy are going to be in Arizona this weekend. Keep that door locked. I want to talk about him for a while. Don't let him back in here. Don't
You stay out.
He's out.
Don't let him back in
Enemy
here.
at the gates.
Make him do the Peloton victory lap. I'm going to punish him for a minute because that is not playing the game correctly. I could have sunk into Choca de Gigantes I could have done the show straight through till Sunday, just there. And he wanted to deny me it while cheating with his own sausage fingers, trying to look up.
Nobody will know that you can type without looking at the keyboard.
As you mentioned, Stugotz is not here, neither is Billy. That's Sunday service presented by Smirnoff. Join God Bless Football live from DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale. It's Jets versus Cardinals. Kickoff is at 2:25 local time. Streaming live on DLS YouTube 21 or over.
225 will always confuse us, but I was at the Sunday service in Chicago. We had a blast. The crowd was awesome. The people were awesome. We got to shake hands, kiss babies, take pictures, all that stuff. So if you're in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area,
The greater Phoenix area.
the greater Metro Phoenix area, do you guys say Metro or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Valley.
The Valley. If you're
The
in the Valley area, go head over to TPC Scottsdale, have some fun with the boys.
That is going to be Sunday, and it's a fun party all around them. Stugotz and Billy throw a good party and do a good show. I wanted to ask you guys something about how Amin came walking in here today.
He trickled in.
He didn't trickle in, though. He didn't.
Gushing. I gushed.
Oh, the faucet was on.
No, he came in gushing, and this is what I wanted to ask you. When I ask you to think of somebody who enters a room with the most swagger in their saunter or their walk, is it Conor McGregor? Is it Vince McMahon? Is it George Jefferson? Where do you go when you think of somebody walking into a room with arms flapping behind them?
Used to be George Jefferson when I was a kid. Now, as an adult, I think of Cosmo Kramer.
Oh, it's always going to be George Jefferson. I mean, the arms went over his head.
Okay, you guys, but Conor McGregor does it now, right? The way he walks into a room, and it's the way Vince McMahon used to walk into the ring, correct? Just exaggerated cockiness, swagger. That is how Amin walked in today. However it is that you imagine the sauntering, cocky person.
I imagine Denzel Washington and Spike Lee and Malcolm X when they have the zoot suits and they know that they're looking bad and they walk and they get the arm going out back and forth. That's what I think of sauntering.
All right, excellent. This is a good combination of things. It's how Amin came in, and what he was sing-songing in an echoey way was, the bliss of ignorant fandom. Because he is a Georgia Tech fan. He is wearing his identity today on his jersey. Georgia Tech has a chance to ruin this show's happiness by beating Miami this weekend and instantaneously ending the national conversation around Miami, even if they make it to the playoffs.
Or making a good percentage of the people here a lot happier.
Correct, because one of the things that's happening around here in the divisions, and I thought Jess was going to be here today so that I could break down this Georgia Tech-Miami game, is Amin doesn't know anything about this team.
Not a thing. I thought the quarterback was black up until yesterday.
Oh,
Haynes King.
Yeah.
So tell the people about the bliss of ignorant fandom, because he noticed something that doesn't exist in his life day to day. He's so busy breaking down the games and doing the content around the analysis of the games that he's actually enjoying watching a game, not knowing anything, and just screaming, "We're going to kick your ass," just having that be his life.
It's so freeing to abandon all intellectual trappings, these handcuffs, these golden handcuffs of wanting to be accurate and wanting to be nuanced, and just throw all that shit out the window and to just be like, hey, you suck, and that's it. That's all the analysis. And I realized, I told Dan, we're the ignorant ones. We sit here every day trying to find the nuance, the detail, the analysis to let you know why this little thing here means this, that, and this, and that's why this is happening. We sat here, the first segment, breaking down how Joe Burrow is the only quarterback to do. Nobody cares. I just want to be a Ravens fan. Say, hey, Joe Burrow, kicked your ass twice, buddy. And I don't get to do that very often in my life. I'm busy doing my job, so I don't get to do that. But in those moments when it comes back, it's like, oh, this is great. It's like when people say, who's the greatest quarterback that you've ever seen? I mean, I can say Eli Manning. And not feel like, oh, Tom Brady? Oh, yeah, 2-0. Hold that. And there is no logic. Hold that. Hold that 2-0.
Hold that's a good one. Hold that's a good one because it's you're not saying anything that's wrong there, but you are saying something that's
The implications,
wrong.
Dan.
The implication. What's the that there?
Hold that.
No, and we know what the that is.
What is this
It's
that
a
I'm
warm
holding?
cockle.
I thought it was a cold one, but same general sphere.
So, as we enter this game tomorrow, Dan, and as I demonstrated, I don't know anything. I thought the quarterback, Haynes King, was black.
The only link you have to this game, if I did a quiz show right now with you, let's break down Georgia Tech, let's do a preview during the local hour. The only thing that you would be able to tell me by way of information that analyzes the game in any way is that you went to school there.
That's right.
Oh, I'm going through that right now, Dan. I've been detached from the University of Florida football team, so going into this season, I'm like, hey, they get to play UM early. I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't know anything about this team other than maybe Billy Napier is on the hot seat. And if they would have beaten UM,
you learned that your quarterback was named Mertz tuning into that game?
I knew Graham. Are we still doing Grahams? Sorry. I knew Graham was there. I didn't know if he was still there. I knew he was there last year. But yeah, I don't attach myself to them. I don't pay any attention. And now when I see, hey, Billy Napier, he's staying put, right? Everybody's getting mad at that. I'm not upset. I don't really care that much. Okay. I'm good with it.
I'm all right. You know what? Last year, Izzy, I went to Georgia Tech Miami here in Miami, and we knew we were bad. We lost to Bowling Green the week before. We just went. It was just me and my buddies I went to college with. We're just having a good time watching this game, and we're awful, and all our first downs are off of penalties. And I was just like sarcastically cheering for our team, like, yes, the refs are on our side, because I know we're going to lose this game. And everyone around us got it, but there was just one dude who didn't get it, who thought I was being sincere. And so when Miami scored, he's like, yeah, and he starts clapping in my face. Like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, yeah, we're going to kick your ass. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, how many national championships do you have? I'm like, are we doing this for real, bro? I don't care. But, of course, we end up winning that game, and so I turn into maximum asshole Amin, which is my favorite Amin to be. And it doesn't get to come out often.
Oh, really?
It doesn't get to come out often, man. The maximum asshole Amin is around all the time. Maximum asshole, that's a rarity.
Let's examine this for a second. Let's examine Amin's asshole.
Okay.
Nope.
No, because this one's interesting because
yes, man.
He's telling us now. We all have gotten very familiar with, yes, Amin's an asshole. He's very comfortable with that character. It's a lane that only David Sampson is willing to occupy so well, although Jeremy seems to be elbowing in a way that he doesn't intend.
Sampson's got a towel for that.
Amin says there's a maximum asshole that we don't see very often, and now I am curious, but I'm going to regret this curiosity. Because I feel like I have seen maximum asshole Amin, and I feel like you're always revving pretty high and pretty close to maximum asshole Amin. I think that's how the group experiences you. Do I have this wrong, that Amin is going for asshole at almost all times?
That's what I see, yes.
Yeah, it's about as right as you ever been.
I would say there's a cruising speed of assholeness that I'm at most times. But every once in a while, I get to push the gas on the accelerator and really go into overdrive. It doesn't happen often because I don't have a lot of outlets to do that, to say I want to inflict as much pain with everything I say here, right? And so that game last year was absolutely one of those moments, because that realization of, oh, okay, who cares? So, you're actually invested in this? All right, let's do this. Let's do this. And the best part about it, again, Dan, it is rooted in zero fact or analysis or anything. It is just you are floating with the winds. The winds blow me up in the winds, and you hope the winds don't blow me down.
Well, they didn't last year. Georgia Tech beat Miami, and I thought we had video of you being maximum asshole in the stands.
Yes.
I remember there was video of this, and I'm like, oh, there's a sighting of in the wild of maximum asshole. I mean, he doesn't know how dangerous that is in Miami. To the guy who Laz in section 120, who's not in on the joke with him, and we'll cut you in the parking lot.
Too soon.
Well,
yeah.
What are you doing there?
My favorite.
You know what? I didn't even mean.
Cutler Ridge.
Look,
Last.
Oh, Roy.
well, you've made it worse now. Yes. Look, I've been making fun of the stereotype of the Laz who put the cut in Cutler Ridge who will stab you over the Hurricanes. I've been making fun of that caricature for a long time, and that person actually exists now and actually did what it is, or is accused, was penalized. Went to,
It's in prison.
Okay, that means you did it, right?
So
willed it into existence.
And so I didn't know where we were on the news story. I was told years ago, stop making fun of Laz. And I'm like, that was an invented character. That's like hearing that Beepo did that. Like, you don't understand. I know a million Lazes. I wasn't talking about a specific one.
With all that said, go ahead, Dan.
All of that said, I want to create a segment on HBO Max that is Amin in the corner for a minute, Max Asshole, where he goes maximum asshole on who, like, where we get to see Amin at his very, quote, best or worst as a sports fan, because he came in here today and there was a spring in his step about the possibility of an upset. And the joyful way he's going through this isn't just because he's ignorant about all things. It's also because it's the best position. He cares so little and knows his team's an underdog. So all he gets on Saturday is the possibility of being maximum asshole, and it's worth rooting for.
So this actually traces back, this particular Georgia Tech Miami thing traces back to, Roy, do you remember before the pandemic? It might have been 2 or 3 years before the pandemic. We went to an event, a watch party at Jay Wakefield. It was Georgia Tech versus Miami, and this was Mike being maximum smarmy Mike. Well, you know, this is just like an appetizer. I think next week they were playing a bigger opponent or whatever. And then Georgia Tech ended up winning that game. And this was like my first time watching a GT football game in years. So I was like, oh, yeah, I got to have a lot of fun there. Then fast forward to last year, and I had a lot of fun there. And so this right here, what's going to happen tomorrow, the beauty of it, first of all, let me say one last thing about last year's game. Unbeknownst to me, Mike was in a suite with a direct sight line to me. He later revealed to me, I watched you the whole entire game, and I was seething because he could see all my antics, albeit without any volume to it, right?
Not creepy at all.
Why is Jeremy coming back into that room?
Was
Oh,
wondering
snuck
the
in.
same thing.
Get out!
You were saying, Amin.
Hold on. Interloper?
Finish your story. I've got to address all of this. I'm going to address this on air before he's allowed back into the room. So just lengthen the segment. I'm going long. We're busting the clock here because I've got more for Jeremy on what just happened there because it's infuriating to me. And I've just got a youth problem around here just because Lucy's insubordinate as well. And I'll talk about that.
Have we settled that one?
Wow.
Not a stray.
No, it's not a stray.
Not a stray.
This is
Target.
Sniper.
I have a generational problem in our company
all do.
while trying to get young.
The shaking of the fist helps.
Yes.
Yeah. To the sky, at the clouds.
And so I want to discuss what happened with Jeremy, but I want to rummage around in Amin's fandom because I also want, by the end of this segment, for you to be doing a segment in the corner, a Max Asshole, and we figure out how you come at University of Miami fans to escalate what this game means this weekend. Because Jessica and Lucy keep telling me they don't think Miami can lose that game. They keep telling me that the Miami schedule is super easy. And I see Miami as an 11-point dog, and I've seen them down at the half at Duke and down 25 at Cal. They can lose to anybody on the road. Like, that quarterback has 3 turnovers and a fumble, they're going to lose 40-25. Like, that it would be very easy for them to lose a football game because their defense can't stop anybody.
And Amin is the fan that you, the passionate UM fan, is deathly afraid of because he runs in, doesn't know anything, and is going to cheer his ass off like he's been a lifelong fan and knows every detail.
Izzy, that's the best part about it. And Dan, respectfully, even though I like the idea that you want me to do, I don't think I can do it because Max Asshole needs emotion, like real emotion, not the fake stuff that I do just for the character. I need to be buoyed by the emotion of the moment. So something like, hey, it's 3rd and 75. And then Miami has a penalty. So, oops, first down. Like, oops, I'm sorry. Did that happen? Oh, like, I need those.
You're the character who needs the electricity in order to throw out the lightning bolt.
Well, can we do this? Can we then do this? Can we set up, by the end of this segment, he goes into the other room and we create the game scenarios that would create the hypothetical Max Asshole because he can summon the character very easily. It comes naturally to him. Let me explain something to you. He's playing himself.
What?
Get out of here.
I don't want to let anyone behind the curtain, okay? But this is exactly who he's going to be on Saturday when Mike Ryan is furious in his skybox because he bought Cam Ward for the Hurricanes and wants to beat Georgia Tech.
That's the beauty, that Mike has probably spreadsheets and he's hitting up insiders, getting information, up-to-date things, and I know this, and he probably watched game film of Georgia Tech. They only like to run it to the left side 17% of the time, and I'm like, we're going to kick your ass!
Is this an allegory for what just happened on Tuesday?
What happened on Tuesday?
Mike started an entire business of information because he's frustrated that he doesn't get to talk enough about University of Miami around here unless they lose. The University of Miami is playing a really important game this weekend at a time when the program hasn't actually felt like this since Ed Reed was playing here in 2001. Even when the University of Miami was undefeated 10-0 with Mark Richt going to Pittsburgh, all of us knew that is not a real thing. That doesn't have the offense to win a championship. This is an exciting, fun football team, and one of the exciting, fun things about it is they could have 3 losses with calls going a different way, even though they've clearly got the best quarterback in the sport.
That doesn't give you confidence going into these games. Like, if you go through the history, yeah, they usually hiccup in these situations, but now it's just one final hurdle. They can do it exactly the same way they just did, falling behind and winning. As long as they win, they're good, and they probably will. Because of Cam Ward.
Cam Ward feels like he's got 9 lives like a cat. The problem is we're getting close to like that 9th life where we're like, can he do it again? They're down 31-17. Can he do it again? I have something that's going to blow Amin's mind, by the way, because he hasn't really been paying attention to Georgia Tech. I think this may be the first time in history where we have backfield mates that share a name. Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, running back quarterback duo. Both have Haynes in their name.
Wow.
Jamal Haynes black.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
His name is Jamal.
Look, man.
That's
Guy's
soothing
name's
for you,
Haynes
right?
King.
Put it on the poll. Are there any white Jamals at Le Batard Show? One of the things that is interesting about the Cam Ward experience, because this part is crazy, the most fun, interesting thing about this team to me, somehow more interesting and fun than even offense, which is a pretty great thing to have on your team, is everyone's arguing about whether they're any good or not. And it feels like the embers of the old days when they were actually better than everybody. This time Miami knows, kind of fraudy, can't cover a running back. But we got the best quarterback. And people might remind you, and he'll roll to his right, 30 yards backward, and throw that interception against Duke when the game is 39-31. It's a one-possession game. That's the most idiotic play I have ever seen in my life. He can do it Saturday, and people aren't going to think that's so cute.
Isn't this portal era about that? Excuse me. About that exactly, because you don't have the dynasties, you don't have the teams that are just loaded with talent all the way through 3rd and 4th string. So the team that ends up at the top is kind of going to be like walking on eggshells the whole time and maybe not dominant.
I love where college football is just because it's actually building the scaffolding around how it becomes even more professional football while we're all watching. And yes, you can buy a quarterback and all you've done is bought yourself right to the top of the playoff game. Cam Ward is going to be so much return on investment if they get to the playoff just by paying whatever you paid him, $1 million, whatever Mike paid him. $1 million,
1.2, I
$2
think.
million, whatever it is. There's so much return on investment. I can't believe that guy was available to everybody. I can't believe that it was just a posturing negotiation whether he would go pro or come here before the season. But before we go into this game anymore, and I do want to talk about it some more, I need to address this Jeremy situation as it relates to our young people problem. And Tony, I'm going to need your help here. Amin, I think Amin and Izzy are with me on, I sent a company-wide email the other day just really asking an assortment of varied people, can you vote on this? Can you 15 people vote on this? Lucy killed somebody on the show. I think it was Mary Hart of Entertainment Tonight. And she was fined $50. She refused to pay, simply looked me in the face and said, I'm not paying. I've got a flight to catch. And that became a $51 fine. And so I threw it to a committee of 15 people by email. And I said, you guys vote. I don't have a vote. Lucy does have a vote. Let's see where this vote comes back, because I cannot have a fine bucket, which is probably an outdated thing from a time when rookies were razzed. I'm going to take that shit out of her paycheck.
That's right.
Like you can't deny the fine, but
Ooh, I don't know about that.
But I need a vote. I need a vote.
Izzy, you say, I don't know about that. I say, what would David Stern do? David Stern would do it, and then it might get overturned later because of an appeal. The union might file a grievance, whatever. But the reality is the message was sent. You got to send the message. Consequences be damned.
Commissioner Stern was MF-ing somebody.
MF-ing somebody. You think Jeremy would run around like that if Commissioner Stern were here? No way.
You take it out of her check, you give it back to her in her bonus. For all the times that she went off to do off-roading, that would be a simple thing to do.
Roy, respectfully, disagree.
Okay.
She's got to file a grievance in order to get it back. You can't just give it back. She's got to work to get it back. Like, she's going to get it back. Look, legally, you can't do it. But she's got to go through the whole legal process to get it back.
I don't know if legally I can't do it. I don't know how illegal the fine bucket is. I don't want to run a dictatorship around here. I am genuinely curious. So everyone else has to pay the fine bucket. And it's an accepted thing when, if we're being honest, the only one who's been paying the fines for 5 years is me.
The guy,
like it's me. It's only me. Everybody taking my money because everyone's like, I don't have it. Here's an IOU. I don't pay cash anymore. I'll Venmo you. It's an avalanche of excuses. This is a big corporate joke. I should have the rights as someone who created a company to throw the vote to a random Democratic 15 group of people. You guys decide what should be the penalty here because I don't know. It shouldn't be I make a company, I can't make any of the rules.
Well,
that shouldn't be what it is.
You mentioned Lucy's young. Is she too young in this company to know that particular rule? Did she know that the fine for killing somebody is $50? She knows that.
She knows.
Then that's spoken into it. Like, if she's familiar with the rule and that's been spoken at some point on this show with her on it, then I think that is reasonable to require her to pay it.
Your Honor, I don't think I can't just say, hey, I didn't know that was a rule.
That's the Dave Chappelle bit. Hey, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Joke's on him because I did know I couldn't do that, right? No, we're not doing that. Look, hey, this is how culture is built. You think Pat Riley over there is like, oh, Jimmy Butler didn't know he couldn't do that. No.
What? Get out of here.
Hey. It should be noted that I, along with the other young people in this company, are presently staging a walkout. Dan, the strike begins Monday. Fans of the show who support me, who support the young people that work here, will be striking outside of the building. You can see my fellow coworkers Monday morning, 9 o'clock. Meet us out there, Biscayne Boulevard.
Is this in support of Lucy or in support of Jeremy?
I don't like how much access he has to microphones. I don't know how I curtail some of this. I'm going to start duct taping him to things because I need him talking just generally less and just far less okay with I'm coming in and I'm striking.
I'll be here Monday, by the way, Dan.
You mother.
I don't even know how he got through the
you're
door.
Close, Dan.
You're going to strike.
Commissioner Stern.
You're going to unionize.
Dan.
You mother. You're going to unionize on me. Okay? And you don't think I'm going to shut down your microphones? You think you're going to keep coming back in and out of the room with young people rule? Not over my dead body.
Yeah. Emperor Stern. This is what you got to do. You got to hit him with a. David Stern would always hit you, not just with MFs, but also some real fire language. Like he would say something like, I know where the bodies are buried. I know because I put them there. You got to hit him with some bars like that. Yeah.
Dan, you need to get ahead of this, okay? $100 fine for anybody who threatens to strike.
Oh, they can't afford that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a right to work state,
just
right?
take it out of their check. I won't even ask him. It'll just be fine.
Just like Uncle Sam. Uncle Dan. $100.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Take it out of her check.
I've been wait a minute. For 5 years, I'm the only one paying the fine. Somebody around here stole the fine bucket. It had hundreds of only my dollars in it. An employee at this company stole that. I think it was one of the young people.
Absolutely. That's who steals everything. Young people.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, please. Do young people steal everything?
They do.
I need you guys to help me with my Jeremy situation and my Lucy situation. And I also need Amin in another room. And for us to create hypothetical situations, we debut Max Asshole. Not even on Max anymore. Are we going to be on Max at the end of the Max hour right now, or are we going to be off Max?
I think we got one more segment. Because
Yeah,
we only
one
went
more.
short in the first segment. I think we got one
we
more
got one
segment
more,
here.
one more.
But I'm going to say this, Dan. This is what I want. If we're going to do Max Asshole, I need you guys to give me fictitious play-by-play of Georgia Tech Miami that I can then react to.
Okay. Let's see if we can do that. I debut Max Asshole next. I mean, I don't have a great deal of confidence that by the end of this segment, we're going to be able to execute, now no longer on the Max Hour, Max Asshole. I have called Chris Whittingham. I thought that would be funny to have him do the play-by-play on Georgia Tech football. He's too busy doing soccer famous things. Called Boog Shambi. He's too busy doing video game voices. All of our friends, all of the big broadcaster friends that we have, too busy to do this. And so I don't know if in the next 30 minutes we're going to be able to execute. It's already no longer in the Max Hour, Max Asshole.
Yeah. No, that's a shame. I thought for sure we'd get Sedano. He's always, anytime he's got an opportunity to do play-by-play, he's jumping at the bit. So I said, George.
Local legend Eric Reed, maybe?
When's the last time he did a football game?
Football's tough. It's a totally different skill set. It's not
Greg
the same
Cody
thing.
doing Eric Reed, maybe.
Now you've sold me.
Now you've got a decent idea. Now the problem is explaining the bit to him, explaining play-by-play, asking him to do anything other than a very limited, fake, nasally Eric Reed.
In about 5 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. See how that goes. It's like trying to change. It's like trying to teach your grandparents the technology. Like it's not. You got no shot there.
This is how you set your VCR.
I have no confidence, okay, that we're going to be able to execute this, but I'm going to try anyway. Before we get there, I've got a handful of things that I wish to get to, some of them basketball related. But first, can someone tell me the ramifications of 40 monkeys being loose in South Carolina? I don't know what that means. And at this point, I am scared of everything. And perhaps this makes me a stupid person. And perhaps I fear too many things when RFK is in charge of health and we're taking fluoride out of the water. And I'm like, okay, where are we headed with all of this? What does it mean that 40 monkeys are on the loose? Are we just going to allow people to keep getting sick with weird viruses because we don't know how to combat them? Or am I overreacting?
What's the deal with these 40 monkeys? Because this is the first I'm hearing about this, and South Carolina's pretty far away.
It sounds like a movie, right? So the primates broke loose from the Alpha Genesis factory in Beaufort County.
Oh, my God.
Right up there.
What are we doing?
Right there. That sounds a little scary.
The Alpha Genesis factory?
In Beaufort County.
This is absolutely a movie. This is how Planet of the Apes started.
Exactly right.
They were at the Alpha Genesis factory in San Francisco.
Izzy says South Carolina is far away. China is too. And that seemed to be a virus that went everywhere. And so I asked the question, totally ignorant. I've seen those outbreak movies. It's all I have, really, in terms of information's facts. I don't know what it means for 40 monkeys to escape from a lab. It sounds like something you don't want in your life, whether you're in South Carolina or somewhere else. But I mean, Ron McGill could probably give us some expertise as to what it is that this means. Is it something I should fear? I find myself fearing more and more these days.
You reminded me that my father, in his eminent wisdom, decided to show my children Outbreak during the pandemic.
Oh, no.
One of my core youth memories is not too young, but being afraid from watching that movie. It felt absolutely possible that Outbreak could break out here in the States or here in the world. And now it feels like since we just went through this pandemic, that 40 monkey story is really creeping me out.
The staff at Alpha Genesis are currently attempting to entice the animals back using food in order to ensure their safe capture.
40 Monkeys sounds like both a dystopian movie and a new tequila, like a mezcal.
Oh,
Yeah, smoky, right? A smoky one, yeah.
Imagine the
A
bottle.
little mezcal.
Mezcal.
I like this glass
Yes.
half full approach. Instead of panicking, let's imagine a nice mezcal on the rocks.
I mean, sure.
Ah, you got it?
Sure.
40 monkeys.
Yes, 40 Monkeys sounds like a pretty exotic tequila. Again, though, I was very ignorant when the virus made an appearance. I remember sort of watching it on the television. It's 5 a.m. when it first starts breaking on CNN. Hey, there's this problem in China. I'm like, oh, that's far away. That's not going to change entire Earth and freedom and democracy as I know it and currency. It's not going to change everything. It's just a virus that's far away, right?
And imagine I was on my honeymoon when I saw that same exact news break, but I was in Thailand, which has the most Chinese tourists in the world during the Chinese New Year. So we were like, oh, that's interesting.
So we don't know if these monkeys were being studied for anything. We don't know if any tests were being done. We don't know if these monkeys are sick, right?
You guys agree with me that 40 Monkeys is a movie that doesn't have an ending that's good for humans, right? Whatever the movie is, if I tell you nothing more other than the movie title, and the movie title is 40 Monkeys, that movie goes dark places, right? It's not a comedy.
I don't know. You don't think you can put 40 monkeys together and they build a fun community and everybody likes each other?
Dan, they did build.
I haven't been able to do that at Metalark.
Buzzing.
I think you're at 39.
Izzy, they did build a community. It's called Planet of the Apes. They all got along. The apes did, at least. Us, not so much. But again, we weren't eradicated by the apes trying to get rid of us. If you remember the end of the first Planet of the Apes with Franco, it starts with the guy, he's a pilot, and or it ends with the guy, he's a pilot, and he gets on the plane, and then we see that line of the flight going to Europe, and then it spreads in Europe, and then the flight goes to Asia, and it spreads in Asia, and that's how it happens, right? Now, here's the thing. You say, we don't know if these monkeys are sick. Let me tell you right now, they were at the Alpha Genesis factory. There's no chance they weren't sick.
Yeah, but my whole life I was told, hey, raccoons have like rabies or whatever, stay away from them. But then people are friendly with raccoons all the time. So, like, should we stay away from them or not?
I don't think people are friendly with raccoons all the time. I think you're living in a different America than I am.
The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed in a statement that the monkeys were previously living on Morgan Island as free-range monkeys and were brought to the Alpha Genesis facility for conditioning to be around people.
Free range.
So to work out, conditioning.
So we're okay.
We're good.
They're just doing cardio.
They're going to do their own thing. Like we're going to leave. We're going to leave them over there. We're going to be over here.
They're trying to
We're
quit the
gonna chill.
gym.
Why is there a facility?
Alpha
First of all,
Genesis.
They were on an island. That's a movie I want to watch. Morgan Island, where it's just a bunch of free-range monkeys, and then we're trapped on the island. And Roy, can we get that trickling sound? We're in the bowels of the island, in the abandoned factory, because now the monkeys have taken over.
This is a horror now.
Yes.
Now the 40 monkeys are in charge because I'm walking through the darkness and the monkeys have better eyes than I do in this darkness with leaky pipes. They're also less afraid than I am.
It doesn't matter what the premise of the movie is. If Alpha Genesis is the title of the company of the bad guys, I'm in on this movie.
Alpha Genesis, they made some mistakes, and now the monkeys are super intelligent, and they're running this island, and we're stuck on the island. We got to get out. And in the middle of this, while we're in that basement with the dripping thing and worried about killer monkeys, we're having a disagreement about whether Anderson is a first name or not.
In Alpha Genesis, is it because of corporate greed that everything got thrown off,
For sure.
or was it because a scientist was trying to play God?
Oh, that's a good question. I answered too quickly.
Wow. Hold on.
Is it corporate greed? They wanted to have monkeys do something for humans in a servitude way, or is it a scientist who's like, you know what, I can change things?
It's probably a scientist trying to play God in service of corporate greed. It's probably
the
both.
duo.
It's probably got to be both of those. He's not a
That's
rogue.
the turn in the movie, though.
He's not a rogue scientific God. He's clearly bought by the oil company.
He's the CEO and chief scientist. And this is his passion project.
Twist at the end, the project was just finding a faster way to warm the cockles.
Alpha Genesis.
Dude.
I mean, that's out of fiction. Are you kidding me?
gotta
That's
be.
a real thing. You guys are going to tell me that the monkeys escaped from a lab. Give it a fictional name. I've got it. What's the most dystopian thing that's going to eat your face? Alpha Genesis. Yeah, that's a Ponzi scheme. That's not a real thing. That's a company name that they exist only to exist. They exist only to release 40 monkeys into your nightmares.
It's either that or A-Rod got steroids from them.
That too. That's one of the
With Alpha Genesis, I'm hitting 50 homers this year.
One of the funniest things to happen in the history of sports is A-Rod and Manny Ramirez making their way through that Tony Bosch Boca Raton tanning clinic of hormones. Like that baseball was being run from a Boca strip mall.
Alpha Genesis also has henchmen, right? Who have Alpha
course.
Genesis branded jumpsuits, but they only exist to get their faces eaten by monkeys.
Nobody trusts Alpha Genesis, right? There's no one who lives in proud service of Alpha Genesis except the scientist who's trying to play God.
I think that there was a time where Alpha Genesis was the sterling object of creating things that were good for people, but then the guy at the top, chief science officer, but also CEO, got a little too greedy.
Absolute
got a little
power
too close to the
corrupts.
sun.
Absolutely.
The passion project done in secrecy on Morgan Island, because obviously they got so successful, they bought Morgan Island.
It stopped being a utopian scientific pursuit in the search of knowledge and became a greedy ego fest that releases 40 monkeys in South Carolina from a place. You got to be kidding me with this name. Who trusts Alpha Genesis?
You have to blow up the island.
No, that's the sequel.
you gotta-
Return to Monkey Island.
Return to Morgan Island. Yes, that is the sequel. Turns out there was one monkey that was still alive.
Yeah,
back
they
then.
captured the monkeys, and at the end of the episode, you count the freeze frame. You can only count 39.
Uh-oh.
Roy, can you do me a favor and please pull out the wheel of only NBA issues? This is not a wheel that we
Hang on a second.
pulled
We got to find it.
out of the closet. It's been, it might be in storage. It
Dusty.
might be difficult to find. But if you can find the wheel of NBA issues, there are a number of things I want to put in front of Amin. You found it already? Wow.
Roy's very
Good
excited.
silence.
Oh, it sounds so creaky.
So it's Draymond talking on a podcast about his relationship with Steven Adams. It's JJ Redick. It is Puka Nacua saying
How'd he get
that
there?
he could play in the NBA. And it's Stephen A. Smith saying that he might run for president of the United States. Which did it land on there?
Roy?
Oh, it landed on Stephen A.
Dang it.
All right, so admittedly, I have not heard this. I have merely read his quotes, but I have not heard what the quotes are. And so I've been trying to imagine what that sounds like.
Do you want to read the quotes to us as just Amin, not as Stephen A. Smith? What are the quotes saying?
So just want to make sure that video knows we have the clip ready to go, but just wait for me to try and guess how it sounded.
You have not heard this.
I've not heard it. I just have the
I like
print.
this game.
Yeah, I like that he's taken on the challenge of this game because there is going to be a payoff here.
All right, here we go. So he was asked the idea of running for president. He said, hell no. I have no desire to be a congressional figure or a senator. But if you came to me and you told me I had a legitimate shot to win the presidency of the United States of America, I would definitely consider it. I have it that he never actually gets loud. He just does that trail off of the, yeah, and it's almost kind of sensual. Like, I would definitely consider it. Kind of like, you don't want to make an enemy out of me, right?
Oh, I think he goes bold and defiant on the dismount and says, but I would definitely, like, I think he nails, I think he escalates to the
Can
last
you give us
sentence.
both? Can you give us Dan's option and see which one comes true?
All right. Hell no. I have no desire to be a congressional figure or senator, but if you came to me and you told me I had a legitimate shot to win the presidency of the United States of America, I would definitely consider it.
Ooh, I don't know.
I
don't know.
I think he goes subtle.
Okay, so you think he understates his candidacy for United States president and isn't going to go over the top? Because we've noticed, he moderated a News Nation panel. He has chosen a lane, maximum audience.
So not right down the middle, just collect everybody.
Newsmax is it's gonna be Stephen A's Newsmax, where he's got Hannity, because Trump now says Fox isn't Hannity enough. Fox isn't on his side enough. So big audience building Stephen A. You think he's announcing his candidacy for presidency subtly instead of with maximum bravado because he wants the American people to believe in him, start believing in him right now. The campaign starts right now.
I just feel like this is the kind of thing that he delivers with subtlety, sotto voce, if you want. Because it reminds me, like I said, of the Kevin Durant, the original feud from a couple of years ago. But we have the actual video, Dan, so we don't have to guess anymore. Let's hear him from his own words.
You've been asked, I hear, about running for political office in the future. And some people have said that they could see you running for president. Mm-hmm. Would you do that? You think you qualify to run for president? I mean, the bar is pretty low anyway.
I do not. Can you rephrase that?
I mean, I just think that the bar is really low because Trump really had no political experience and went from 0 to 100, right? He didn't start in the city council and stuff like that. So the bar is low. Anyone can run.
I have said this on many occasions. The answer would be hell no, because I like my life. I'm living a pretty good life. But I must confess, I wish I could debate some of these guys. I'd love to be on a debate stage going up against these guys with the presidency on the line.
We will arrange that.
I'm half joking, but I kind of mean it. I mean, I have no desire to be a congressional figure or a senator. But if you came to me and you told me I had a legitimate shot to win the presidency of the United States of America, I would definitely consider it.
Nailed it.
job.
Absolutely nailed it, Amin.
Good job.
You know what, though? You guys left out an important bit of context. I thought he was doing this on First Take.
Agreed.
I did not know he was doing this surrounded by women, and so he was on The View, and of course he was going to go cocky, sensual.
Smooth.
I did, but
I
you
knew
got to
that.
give me that information.
That's true. That's
you
true. I
got to
did-
give me that information.
I did know he did it on The View. I swear to God, people are going to say, oh, clearly, watched it. I swear to God, I did not watch it before, but I knew it did happen on The View. I apologize for lacking the context.
Let's spin the wheel again here and see what it comes up on the wheel here. And something else has made an appearance on the wheel. I can't quite see it from here. Does it say Trump on the wheel? Go ahead and spin the wheel there. So you got J.J. Redick. You've got Draymond Green talking about his relationship with Steven Adams. What are you smirking about? What's so funny?
This next topic is going to be a good one.
What is the next topic? I can't see it.
You can't see it?
Let me
says
look real quick.
Trump. It says
No, it does not say Trump.
It doesn't say Trump up there.
Ooh, JJ Redick.
Yes.
So close.
Why is that so close? This was okay. So we talked about this yesterday about J.J. Redick having a conversation with D'Angelo Russell, benching him for the rest of the game, and okay, what does that mean? Cool. It was a regular basketball conversation. I had not realized what J.J. Redick's reaction was in game, in real time, at the thing that made him bench D'Angelo Russell. We've got that video, ladies and gentlemen.
JJ, you're talking a lot about two or three guys, getting them to put in the effort. You've talked a lot about wanting to play hard and LeBron being the guy that played hard in tonight's game. How do you address that with the team? What's your philosophy for approaching that?
I just did.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to throw it to video, you need to let video know what the video is. You need to do that. They don't work that way. You got to inform them. They can't read your mind. They need
That's reading my mind. I sent an email and everything.
Okay,
it's still helpful. It's JJ Redick storming off on a press conference in month 2
but
of his professional
let's
coaching
play
debut?
the other sound that Amin actually wanted. He's a little amateur at throwing it to sound in the video room. It's a very difficult thing. You have to understand, the video's got to be prepared. You talk about it before, and then you say, hey, video, here's the video that I need when I'm talking about something. Can you play the correct video? It's we haven't figured it out. We haven't figured it out in 4 years.
Apparently, we have the real video now.
Okay.
Let's see the real video.
Ken to shoot. Steps back beyond the arc. Blocked by Huff. Huff stuff.
Look at J.J. Redick.
Aldama. Jay Huff, another three.
JJ Redick picks up and slams down his seat that he's actually sitting in,
on.
which is kind of tricky, 3 times.
The first one is kind of like I'm so frustrated. And then you got some endorphin release there. And he's like, I'm frustrated. He loses it. He loses it right there. That's not I'm disappointed in you, D-Lo. That's what the heck are you doing out there?
He did, for those who don't have the video, he was in a chair, an expensive and heavy chair he was sitting in. He was squeezing it, very frustrated, and lifting it off the ground while he sat in it in his frustration, literally sitting in his frustration. As J.J. Redick presents to us the optics of being a coach with no experience being a coach, generally speaking, as a leader in that sport, do you believe in coaches who haven't done anything and have that temperament? Because J.J. Redick has been an impatient, lose-your-temper guy since college. That is not something you give power to and expect lose-your-temper guy to suddenly have less of a temper. He's got less control over the results than he's ever had, and he never had that much control over the results because he was a player who always fit in somewhere.
Right.
That temperament doesn't seem long for that job unless he does some learning about patience.
I would say that, yes, he had a bad temper in college and then was very quickly humbled in the NBA by not being in the rotation and having to work his way. And he really mellowed over time. But now this is a different journey. And there are going to be times where you are frustrated because, like you said, there's a lack of control. At the end of the day, as a coach, I can't play. They're the ones who are playing. So you kind of have to live and die with that. The reality is the number one person who he needs in his corner is in his corner. And as long as LeBron is like, yeah, JJ's right, then he can say and do anything.
But this is dangerous. I mean, don't you think, like, if this is not saying he can't change, right? But if this is the lane you choose, whether it be, let's start with sort of his approach to the media, right? You saw in that first clip where we weren't supposed to play, but it was helpful, where he was just the look he was giving was I'm angry, and he's probably angry at his players, but I'm angry at you, right? The result of that, the storm off, him using curse words, him telling people, like, he could have taken a different lane. Like, I remember the first game he did, he didn't know how to tie his own tie. Like, I helped him tie his tie. It was adorable.
Wow.
It was like, wow. He could
Hold
have been,
on.
Yeah.
We're going all the way back to 2006?
No. Whenever he started his broadcast career.
Oh, his broadcast career.
The
Okay.
first game he did as a broadcaster. So after his entire, NBA career, after, probably got dressed in suits a bunch of times, didn't really know how to tie a tie, tied his tie for him. Thought it was cute,
Wow.
whatever.
How about that?
That's not, he's clearly taking the, hey, I'm just going to be an a-hole lane. And even when you're talking about with the media, like, it serves a purpose to sort of warm yourself up to the media. Like they're currently taking a defensive stance against you because you're setting that tone versus if you were to just sort of warm up to them and be like, hey, I'm likable, whatever. Those people who say negative things, they're a little crazy. They're a little off the wall. I'm not going to deal with them. But you guys, you're cool. You get protected that way.
You got to do some winning first before you can adopt that personality. The reality, though, is, I think JJ already kind of had a less than elevated opinion of the media covering basketball. If you listen to him on the podcast where he talks about, like they don't cover basketball like this, listen to him on First Take, kind of disparaging.
He does not respect the grand majority of basketball coverage. He thinks is ignorant, empty, and doesn't know nearly as much as he does.
Well, I don't think it's ignorant, empty,
and he's not
know as
wrong.
much.
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but also a level of you guys are focused on the wrong things. You guys aren't focused on the actual real basketball stuff. Much like when we talked about Durant yesterday, he would have hated our conversation because the conversation was all centered about how he feels as opposed to how he plays.
JJ Redick would like about 2 or 1% of everything being produced by NBA media in all of its forms.
I don't want to put a number on it, but yes, there's a lot of it he does not respect. But that question right there, that ain't it. That's him being frustrated because this thing started and I was getting my ass kissed and carried on a pagoda, and now reality is sinking in. And now we're asking the questions that make me feel uncomfortable because I'm realizing, it's not as easy as I thought.
And you mentioned LeBron James, and he's protected by LeBron because as long as LeBron's okay with it. How long is LeBron going to be around? Like, J.J. Redick's coaching career is going to last longer than LeBron's career, is it not?
You fool. You think J.J. Redick is going to coach longer than LeBron James? What is he, Larry Brown?
What is that word you used? I don't know how you spell it. Pagoda?
Yeah.
Pagoda? How do you spell that word?
Pagoda.
Something you'd carry Cleopatra around in?
Yeah, they carried like royalty and stuff when they carry him to this town square.
That is a sign of Izzy aging right there. That's a Kornheiser special joke right there. It's not just that it was Abe Vigoda, which
I'm not even sure who it is or if I said it right.
It was Barney Miller. You did say it right. But just that joke is what Kornheiser does now. Anytime he hears anyone's name, and he's been doing it for 20 years, it's how you age. It's how
I can do PTI now.
Yes, it's how one ages. We got to get to Maximum Asshole, and I love that Chris Whittingham pops into the Zoom as I say that. But before we get to Max Asshole, let's do Against the Spread, please.
All right, everybody, it's time for Against the Spread. It's sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I am going to start with Penguins and Capitals. Alexander Ovechkin has a 5-game goal-scoring streak, and the favorites have won the last 13 games that the Penguins have been involved in. And also, I don't like the Penguins. The Capitals are favored in this game by a goal and a half. Go with them today against the spread.
That's right. Shout out to the Penguins.
The Panthers won 6-2 last night. Can you explain to me what's happening with Winnipeg, please? Am I to fear Winnipeg? Why does Winnipeg never lose?
Well, it was the same thing as last year, and they got upset in the first round. So might happen again, might not. But,
it was 12-1 last year is how they started?
Yeah, they came into the playoffs as pretty much world beaters. So, but they ended up losing. So don't worry about them for right now. Tony?
The Jets going to the NFL. A lot of juicy lines in this week's offering and slate of the NFL, but I'm going to stick with one
that
sounds
maybe...
like he's choosing that line.
No,
right
no,
now.
no, because I'm looking. No.
It sounds like you're filibustering and
No, not
pausing,
filibustering,
and you
not
weren't ready
filibustering.
for the segment. As
No,
we're in a contract here,
no.
sponsored segment.
Oh, trust me, I am beyond ready
Ah,
because
the
I've got
Jets.
my game.
Well,
the
you
issue
sound
was
like you're filibustering.
no.
Moving to the
It's
NFL.
just we're stretching because there's so
I don't
much.
need stretch.
Oh,
I want to
okay.
get to Max Asshole.
Oh, okay. Buffalo Bills -3.5 against the Colts. Joe Flacco. I think that Josh Allen's playing special right now. They're going to get things settled with Amari Cooper. That offense is good. The Colts kind of average, getting 3.5 at home. I'm going to take the Bills -3.5.
That line feels suspicious.
Yes, right.
What's happening with that line?
I told you there's a lot of juicy lines. I could have gone Minnesota Vikings -7.
What does the money know that I don't know? The Bills are at home and they're only a 3.5.
No, Colts are at home. Colts are at home, getting 3.5.
All right.
The juice is loose.
Thank you.
Should I leave? Do you want me to leave for
You
this?
tell me the best way to do this. We've got Chris Whittingham is here, and I'm setting up a bit that I don't have confidence in, but at the very least, I do have confidence in your ability to be a maximum asshole, and I do have confidence in Chris Whittingham's ability to be a play-by-play man. So
let me tell you right now, for the listening audience, Chris Whittingham looks like he came to call a game.
Yes.
This isn't him in his
he's
pajamas
ready. No, he's
with his
totally
oven
ready.
clock.
He's been waiting for several months now for this call to come where he can do fake Georgia Tech play-by-play to summon Amin's maximum asshole. So, Amin, you go to the green room. Whittingham, what has been explained to you as we get Amin set up here because we're doing this on the fly, and I don't know if you have enough information.
Well, I got sort of the gist of this idea that you do want to do kind of a maximum asshole style bit, and you want to make Amin feel good, presumably going into the University of Miami game. But I have some lines of play-by-play in front of me, and I know that we're trying to make Amin feel good, but it's sort of an incomplete picture I have.
Okay, so are you going to build the ad lib around what it is that your play-by-play is? Because I don't want you to have to stick to a script, but all we're trying to do is, because you're a maximum asshole as a broadcaster and he's a maximum asshole as a fan, we're just trying to give Max a maximum asshole moment. And so we think that his fandom, his ignorant fandom that knows precious little about Georgia Tech will be on display on Saturday in an aggressive, peacocking fashion if he's able to out loud Miami fans.
I'm getting the feeling, just based off of looking at the names in front of me, that I will be introducing Amin to Georgia Tech players over the course of the next 5 minutes.
That's right.
There's no chance he knows the names of any of these people.
No, he does not. He knows Haynes King, and he thought he was black just based on his name, and he is not. Right. He is not black. He is white. He is their quarterback. He knows nothing, but he wants to be able to say, "You suck, Miami." He's living the most blissful sports life, where he gets to root for his team, doesn't actually care, and if he wins, it's a gold mine. It is the safest space for a sports fan.
And if he loses, it was expected to happen anyway,
right.
so who cares?
That's right.
Ignorance is bliss.
It is. It's wonderful. Okay, so Amin is in position. Does his microphone work? Is everything in order? All right, we're going to close out this segment. Go ahead and give, let's do this for as long as we can before we run out of time. Give him some play-by-play there, Whittingham.
All right, here we go. Oh.
First drive of the game here for the #1 offense in the nation, leading in both yards per game and in points per game under quarterback and Heisman candidate Cam Ward.
Make noise, guys. Come on. All right, here we go. Okay.
Ward out of the gun on 1st and 10. Ward scanning the field, looking towards Xavier Restrepo. He's hit from behind. The ball is out. The ball is out. Romello Height, the strip sack, and the recovery for Height. Romello Height, he leads the Yellow Jackets with 2.5 sacks, and he's got the ball for the Yellow Jackets.
Mike, I think you dropped something. Is this yours? Nope, it's mine now. It's mine now. Let's go, Jackets.
What an asshole.
Excellent. All right, let's keep, let's keep going.
Where we at? Hey, does someone turn on the transistor radio so I can know what yard line we are? Are we in their territory?
Hold on a second. Okay. I mean, back off.
Okay.
3rd down and 12 here from the Miami 47. Once again, trailing in the first half, down 14-0 in this second quarter. Ward dropping back to pass. He rolls to his right. He fires it deep downfield, and there's Restrepo, his first chunk play of the game. And you don't want to let this offense get rolling. 36-yard gain for Restrepo. Gets the Canes into the red zone. We're going from right to left on your radio dial.
Congratulations. So you guys know how to play this game. Yeah, you're supposed to throw it to your team. Well, very well done, Michael. You guys must be very proud of your boys.
All right. We need the other moments. He doesn't need to be reacting to Miami doing well. We need more asshole.
But Dan, it sets up 4th and 3 from the Georgia Tech 7, and the Canes have settled for a field goal. 25 seconds left. It's going to be a 27-yard chip shot for Borregales. The snap is good. The hold is good, but it's blocked. It's blocked, and it's recovered by Kyle Efford. Amin has no idea who that is. And here goes Efford. He's at the 50. Ken McCormick is on his horse trying to catch him, but he will not. It's 20-7 Yellow Jackets. What a swing for Georgia Tech.
Take it to the house. Take it to the house. Is that a Miami song? I'm sorry. Did I use your music? Pardon me. Didn't know it's only meant for you people. Guess what? It's ours now. Let's go, Jackets!
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I never want to leave the air. I want to do this.
Keep going.
I don't even want college football Saturday. I want to watch this instead. Go ahead, Whittingham.
Georgia Tech's got the ball to start the second half on a great drive. Already in Canes territory after 33 yards on the ground from Jamal Haynes. I'm introducing Amin to these people. 1st and 10 from the Canes 47. Handoff to Haynes. Haynes powering through tacklers, but the ball is out. It's recovered by Miami, and this is the last thing you want to see if your head coach Brent Key, who Amin definitely doesn't know, has to be mistake-free football if you're going to beat this Hurricanes team, and that one might come back to bite them.
Scoreboard. What are we talking about?
Whittingham, close us out. Do the last play of the game. We're out of time.
What's the score?
Give us the entire. Hold on. I mean, we're going to get the whole situation here. We're going to get our punctuation. What do we have, Whittingham? It's the end of the game.
So here we are after the Miami timeout. The game is tied at 28. 1:37 to go. Georgia Tech ball. 3rd and 8 to go. A first down. And they can set up the game-winning field goal. Haynes King goes back to pass, and here comes the pressure. But King breaks contain. He's out to his left. He evades the tackle. He's now moving to his right. He's looking for anyone downfield. He'll try and take it himself, and he does it. He goes in for the score. It's touchdown, Georgia Tech. Down goes Miami.
Hey, good game, Mike. Good game, really. You guys tried hard. I really respect it, as a competitor. No, for real. You guys really good. I think you guys had a chance. It's only one loss. It's not a big deal. Yeah. That's how you end it, guys. You got to end it nice and subtle and polite and sportsmanlike. After you talked all the shit the whole game long, when you win the game, you turn and say, hey, good game. Hold on, look at the game. Hey, good game. Yeah. No, you guys tried hard. You got a good game. You got a good team. I like your quarterback. He's good. Yeah. Best of luck to you. I'm a rapper.
Yes.
A hell of an engineer. Something. And I drink my whiskey clear. I'm a rambling, gambling, hell of an engineer. Hey, go Jacket. Go Jacket. Success. Ladies and gentlemen, that was 17% of Mac's asshole.